What It Takes Radio Company. It's the beginning of 2026, the first full business week, and we're going to try and do it right. A teaching and coaching and marketing media collective for creatives and entrepreneurs. I think we are perfect just for you. And what if someone challenged you and said, "Tell me something important that I don't know"? Well, there's a story there, and I think you'll find it rather interesting and amusing. Here we go.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan Hustad once again, and we made it through another year, and another year is now ahead of us. And this is Monday, the first day of the first full week, and lots of things happen today. For instance, the treadmills are full. That's right, and I think many of you know what I'm talking about. Those people, that proverbial, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get back in shape. And here we are on Monday morning, and that's the first work day back after the holiday celebrations, and the fitness centers are full of people who have made a resolution, a resolve, all kinds of other things that they're going to make that happen this year. Well, of course, many of you know how that situation works because many of you have been in that situation. They found out that most so-called good intentions resolutions probably, as the fitness centers will say, around the 1st of March, it's really kind of back to normal again. Good intentions, well intended, good things, but boy, it's really hard to keep moving, pressing on, and getting it done. And so if I had the answer as to how you can make all of those good things that you want happen, I wouldn't have to be here talking and making a living doing that. But that's what I love to do, and that's what I think I can help people do, and that is to make some progress in how they can live well and build a better business. Primarily, first of all, it's learning how to market and sell yourself, and that's one of the key things we talk about. It's also about helping you get on the radio, and that's what It Takes Radio is all about, and I'll be talking more about that. In effect, one of the things that is happening is you're going to have to learn how to use the golden microphone and be able to look right into the camera and speak your mind and share your truth. But there are all kinds of other things happening. My good friend Joe Pine is telling us how we can get very much involved in the transformation economy. I'll be somewhat related to that, though more and more I'm discovering that I may be helping people deal with the transformations that are taking place. Not that we can make them or produce them or help people aspire to them, but there will be things that will be happening this year that will be very much out of our control. And the question will be is, how do I gain some control of my life and business in the midst of these transformations? And that is a key survival technique, tactic, mindset, whatever term you want to use, that you will probably have to deal with. As I said before, I'm always a proverbial optimist, but I said that 26 will be a testing year. There's going to be so many things happening in so many ways that all kinds of situations are going to test us. And we have to be prepared. That's not pessimism, that's preparation. For sure, as I said, this is going to be increasingly the performance economy. In effect, you will have to very seriously take that old fun show business line that I've used. There's no business like show business. Well, every business now is a show business. And so we're going to have to learn how to show up and show up at our best and perform at our best, because we don't interview anymore. We have to audition. That's right, we have to audition to gain that vote, to gain that promotion, to gain that relocation, to gain whatever we want. We're going to have to show up and put on a pretty good show. Now, a number of years ago, I've told this story a number of times because I was very much coaching people in how to, do an interview, or how to do a way to try and get something. And I told them that one of the things that hit me a number of years ago, and I kind of eventually used it, is that it had been arranged for me as I was out of work, and long story there, but I was able to procure, thanks to my friend, an appointment with a key HR person in a major company. And I was excited about it because I think I had the skills and the qualifications, and I thought it would go quite well for me. At least I had prepared, I'd dressed the part and had a good tie and made all those things and tried to be ready and well prepared, and I was. And one of the questions after the conversation, the examiner, the interrogator, the supervisor said to me, "Well, Mr. Hustad, it appears that you have quite a list of qualifications here. Um, you've done a lot of things, been around the world, done a number of things." I said, "Yes, I've had a great deal of experience." And then he leaned back and said, "Mr. Hustad, tell me something I don't know that's important." How would you deal with that question? Tell me something I don't know that's important. Well, I can't quite remember what I said, but I think I caught my breath, smiled, put on kind of one of those thinking things, as if I were searching for all the things I knew. But I did have something that had come to me in the last few days just before, and so I shared that idea. And I held my breath. And he said, "Well done. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that." Well, that sounds good, but I didn't get the job. I later found out that the other person who interviewed me was a woman who had some problems with men, and her excuse was, she said, I didn't even like the tie he wore." As I oftentimes say, a conversation about what is fair we don't have after the sixth grade. Lots of things happen that certainly are not fair. But that's a long ways away, but perhaps it was helpful on the way to just have a little symbol here. Have you ever heard of that? Is this something you don't know? 10x. You know what the word 10x means? Now, I discovered it primarily as I'm working a good deal with people in the investment and venture capitalist business, and that kind of work that's really tough. Gain the ability to help people, particularly entrepreneurs like me and other people, take their business and to make it successful, and perhaps get somebody to give them a grant or to invest in them. And that's where I encountered the word 10x. It's in gold. And that's because supposedly it's one of the gold standards in a business. And then I found out that maybe I could be a 10x coach. 10x coach. Now, here's my question for you. Do any of you know what 10x means? Obviously, 10 times it would seemingly might be there. But what does it mean? 10 times or 10x? And what would a 10x coach do? I'm going to just simply today ask you to think about that, because I think it could be very helpful to you as you are looking forward to, maybe not looking forward. Maybe it's kind of fearful and kind of dreadful, and that's because of all the things that are happening and could happen. As I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he told me about a position that he had, and I said, how do you feel about that? And he said, well, I used to think that this was some real security, but and I've been doing it for over 20 years, but I'm not so sure anymore. Well, I know what he was doing, and he has a more than a little bit of concern as to maybe his job or his position or his role is not secure anymore. That's happening in a number of ways in a number of places. So on this note, just simply asking you, because we're going to be starting to talk a little bit more about this. What does it mean to be involved in 10x work? Why would that might be a high aspiration? Why you might need a coach to do 10x work? And what does that have to do with the choices, career, and the things that you plan and want to do in this 2026, which, as I say, will be a time of testing. Got off to quite something. Here we are, day 5. The Venezuela, the Iran, all kinds of things. The world is in increasing turmoil, and that's going to affect everything. Already, the times they are a testing. Maybe it's a 10-time testing. What do you think? Well, I'd appreciate you letting me know if you think you know, and we'll talk about that. What is the 10x factor? Reach out to me and let's have a conversation, because I can probably help your business maybe do some 10x work. That means it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. And let's see if we can do it together. Reach out to me, stan@witradio.net, stan@witradio.net, and let's see if we can figure out what it means to be a 10xer. All the best. Blessings to you. Till next time. Bye for now.